Terraria is a fantastic game. Its combination of an open world experience with the linear progression of an RPG creates an experience that both affords the player a significant sense of freedom while also always feeling extremely rewarding. So first of all, we have core gameplay. As mentioned just before, Terraria's gameplay is ultimately linear and progression focused. This involves the player starting with minimal equipment, and from there exploring, splunking, crafting, building, and buying better gear from NPCs that spawn as you progress. The game does this in such a way that for each upgrade you get, the difficulty of already explored areas reduces, however new and harder areas become more easily accessible, while still presenting a great challenge. To add to this, once you arrive at the best gear you can have, a whole new phase to the game begins, and so it continually moves the difficulty bar forwards while still allowing you a sense of achievement, and I can't understate how engaging this makes the game. Overall, the pace of the game starts a little slow. With a few accessories and weapons, the mobility options and efficiency you operate at aren't that entertaining. It also can be a little bit grindy in places, and RNG does sometimes play a large role in progression. But that said, it only ever goes up from the start, not only in terms of variety, such as playstyles, enemies, weapons, gear, and bosses, but even as fundamentally as the tactile response the game gives you and the way it feels. As an example, consider this early boss fight. Then this. Now, despite moving through the same bosses every playthrough, the game's open nature gives a fantastic amount of replayability. You can choose to focus on melee, magic, ranged, or even more niche playstyles like Summoner, with each style offering a new experience than the others. Not only that, but the game includes different difficulties, normal and expert, in the vanilla game, with expert offering new challenges to make otherwise familiar parts fresh and more challenging. This mechanic encourages the player to master boss and mob AI, fighting the same enemies over again to learn the best way to defeat them. Now, it should be said that updates to the game do not come frequently. However, when they do arrive, they always add insane amounts of high quality, really fun content. Consider the last major update, 1.3, which was responsible alone for the addition of 1. The fantastic expert mode, which opened up a whole new deal of gameplay possibilities. 2. New events like the Martian invasion, new major bosses including the Moonlord, which is the final boss of the game, new biomes and mini-biomes, and 800 new items. Even ignoring all other aspects of the game, the core gameplay of Terraria alone makes it well worth its price. But gameplay isn't everything, so let's take a look at arguably the second most important aspect of a game, its graphics and sound design. And again, Terraria delivers well above and beyond. The art style is clean but interesting, and although when the game starts I can find it a little boring, new areas add new looks and variety to the world all the time. Like with the gameplay, however, the graphics only ever get more and more engaging. We start with this. And then get to this. And to add to that, Terraria's soundtrack is in no way lesser to any other part of its experience. Stellar tracks are littered throughout the game. Now, moving on to the next section, multiplayer. I would be lying if I said that I don't prefer multiplayer games. This is something I should make very clear from the start. In fact, most of the games I enjoy are multiplayer. Most of the time I spend in Terraria is spent playing with friends. But Terraria is a game that goes from being great in single player to untouchable in multiplayer. It is amazing. Bosses are just as fun, the grind becomes less grindy, and if you need any more convincing, expert mode means that bosses are balanced so that they become harder against more people, so multiplayer doesn't make the game trivial. Now, on top of all of this, Terraria has one last ace up its sleeve, and that is the modding community. For the $10 USD price tag, the vanilla game alone is well worth it. But the modding community? Oh man, the quality of the mods is insane. I personally have only played one, Calamity, and that added easily 30 hours of playtime, if not more. The casual player might not even give the mods in Terraria a second glance, but that is an oversight on their part. There are complete overhauls, new additions, new bosses, everything. Calamity mod alone adds 2 harder difficulty modes, 3 new biomes and structures, over 20 original songs, which are amazing, and literally hundreds of new items. The amount of replayability the mod adds to an already incredible game is astounding. So the verdict? Buy Terraria. For $10, it's well worth its price tag for the single player alone. If you have friends that own it, you're a donkey for not already owning it. If you even remotely enjoy having fun, buy it. I give Terraria 9 rabbits out of 10.